Espera, te lo pregunto. ¿Vosotros me oís?
Sí.
Vale, pues como lo tengo en la puerta de al lado, se lo pregunto, ¿vale?
Más fácil.
Igual sí.
Okay, so I'm connecting now to YouTube, and it looks like the people, everyone is going to be able to hear me, although it's a little bit delayed. Lo eliges tú. Tú decides, tú eres el jefe de la escalera. Okay, so sorry, I had Eduardo from the Spanish channel here. Now I'll start again. So now I'm going to copy. I'm going to copy here in the YouTube as well, so that you can see the YouTube channel.
Vale, pues los españoles nos vamos a nuestro canal,
Okay,
¿vale?
live. Chat. Okay, Skype is a little bit slow. Okay, understood. Portuguese.
Lo mismo. Es como un fondo de Mac con el...
Again, sorry, apologies. There's been a little technical problem.
Nada más que el escritorio de pantalla, no puedo compartir nada de lo que...
Okay.
Vale,
Yeah,
ahora
that's my notes.
lo que voy a hacer es quitar el zoom porque si no va a ser un jaleo.
Vale.
Okay, here it is now. You have also in the live chat of the YouTube channel, you have all the links for all the different channels in the different languages. So if you are here because you want to attend the meeting in English, then stay here because this is going to be in English. If you're here because you didn't know how to connect to any of the other channels, then what you do is that you follow any of the links that I put both in the Zoom and in the YouTube channel. So that way you can just follow them and connect in whichever language you want. Obviously, you have all the connections, so you are more than welcome to go from one to another channel as you wish. Yeah, you know, if you're just listening, all that you have to do is disconnect. You can just disconnect and then connect back again into the different channels and learn many resources. Obviously, that will make it a little bit complicated for you, but you can obviously do that very, very easily. Now, we have in this channel, we have Maria, we have Harry, and we have Paula presenting, okay? And we have anyone else that happens to be here enjoying, okay? So I think choose, I think your presentation, because I see you here in the Zoom still, your presentation was, sorry, what? Are you presenting now, Choose? Sorry, you still here?
Yeah, but I have problems with the connection. Es que me estoy metiendo también al
Sorry,
Skype.
Choose, can you get your microphone if you're on Zoom?
Yeah,
I don't see Harry. So Harry should be here. And Choose, can you get your microphone? No, your microphone is on. Choose, you can say something now.
I have some problems with the Skype.
Okay, so now I can hear you, Choose.
Que para hablar, para presentar lo mío lo hago a través de la de Skype, ¿no? ¿Qué habéis dicho?
Okay, choose. Are you in the Spanish channel or the English channel?
Spanish channel.
Okay, then go to the Skype. Yes.
Yeah, but I have
And then
problems
you
with
have-
Skype. I
And
don't know
one
what's
of the
happening.
others, I can hear them because the next room, and then they already ready there. Okay, so Stefanos, Lemonis, and all the others that you hear, remember that I've just put in both the Zoom channel and the YouTube channel all the links for the Skype, but many apologies because these were not published when they should have been published. That's why many people were asking questions, and I didn't understand why. So that was a big mistake. I take full responsibility for that. But it's okay. I don't know where Harry is, so I'm just gonna, because he should be here. I can see Maria and I can see Paula. Thank you very much. You are in the right place. And choose. You're more than welcome to stay here, but if you can turn your camera off. Yeah. Okay. He's gone. He's gone completely. Okay. So girls, if you bear me with just a few seconds. Yeah. Okay, so let me just we're going to start in 5 minutes, yeah. So take a little break. Apologies, I need to like send links to some people that didn't get the idea that if they couldn't find the links, they just have to come here. Okay, 1 more minute, and then we will start. Sorry, girls. And it looks like I think Harry must have like connection problems that have nothing to do with us, because he's just not there, and it should be. Boop, boop.
He's still in China, Harry.
Yeah, yeah,
So
but he was connecting fine, like, you know, he participated in everything, and but yes, in China, like, you know,
what's the time in China now?
but it's quite late, but you know, he knew that's why he wanted to participate in this one, because in the other one it's just too late. I just don't know where it is.
And Alvaro, what is going to be broadcasted now in YouTube? Are we able
Yes.
to watch later after it's been published?
Yes,
We'll be able
yes,
to.
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, great.
CRPG,
So we can share that link later as well, yeah?
Yeah, ideally the idea is that everyone, we don't want to share the links, and this is in a way a little problem, because what happens is that in the past people were just following the links and not registering. We can only share the links with people that have registered. That's the idea.
Mhm.
So you're more than
No,
welcome
but I
to
mean
share links.
later. I mean later, when everything is
No,
done.
no, same. No, we don't want to share links. We want
Okay.
people to register. Yeah, it's very, very important. We don't want to share any of the
Okay.
links. We want people to register, and then they will get a link. That's the idea. If they find us, then it's okay as well.
Okay.
But we don't want them to just follow the links. I know it will be easier, but then what happens is that if people watch the videos, it's fine. But if they don't register, then we don't have any control of what they're doing. We cannot send them information. So we know that people eventually try to get shortcuts. And because of that, we have to do things in a more difficult way. We create programs like this one, but it's the only way that we find out. We don't want people to connect if they're not registered.
Okay.
And now, well,
Fair enough.
yeah. And let me just check if I can. Well, my guess is that Harry, who is presenting on this one, is just not attending because he's got other problems from to do with the Chinese government that I cannot solve. Okay, sorry. Okay, now Maria, are you there? If you can use like 2 more minutes to check on the social media that you that you deal with, and check if there are anyone.
Earlier.
If there's anyone that is asking for the links, then you can just give them the Skype channel links because otherwise they know. But just like a private message.
Yeah. Let me copy them from the.
Yeah, from all these Skype channels. That's okay that you share with anyone that is asking for them, because.
So, because I have that in Chrome separately, and I have this with the other one. I checked like an hour ago, and just before connecting.
And Laura is asking about some of the links because it looks like in Instagram that is the one that more people are asking.
Yeah, LinkedIn, no, and I've checked all that's no. And there was a few people in Facebook like 45 minutes ago, but they said, oh, hang on, this one. Yeah, it seems like this one. Yeah, this one. I can send somebody saying about the code. Somebody called Anna. The access. So she says this is complaining. Somebody called Ana saying that no me habéis enviado mi código de acceso.
Oh, yeah, just to reply. Don't mention it here. Yeah, just reply. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So send the
there's
links.
Some people that
I think
there's some people that don't have the link for this, but the link for Zoom was there. For all the speakers and all the premiums, they should have the link, the Zoom, and all the everyone had the YouTube channel directions because that is live, it's still there.
But
it's just the only links that some people might not have because it looks like it's not working in all the.
No, but this is a premium one.
Yeah, premium one only for people that are speakers or
she says she doesn't have the code. She's saying it's a premium speaker. It's on Facebook. She's just telling me now. Just literally.
Okay, ask them to send an email. I'll check the emails while we're doing this. Yeah. For the premium, they should have that, and the premium, in fact, they have it both. They have like they have it in the email. They have it in the invitation. They have it everywhere. They just have not read the emails and
that's what she's saying, that she hasn't received the code, but yeah, okay. I said to send an email to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So hopefully, that's the only one that was there.
Yeah, okay. I'm just while we're waiting for Harry to reply. Okay, Harry, you here?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So Harry, sorry, I thought you
I'm
had a
just
problem in
typing.
China.
Yeah,
Okay.
I tried to connect to the congresses on LinkedIn and Facebook until I saw your email on Google.
Okay, so you are here. I thought you had a problem that we cannot sort out because we're sorting out lots of problems, and you know, so
Okay, feedback from me. Just now, I didn't know where to go, so I went.
Okay,
on the
no, you just
website
have to stay here. You
instead.
didn't have to
I
go
followed
anywhere.
the links to LinkedIn and Facebook, but it was only dead ends.
No,
So
no,
I had
no, no.
to
You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to do anything. You're in the right place. You just had to stay here. Simple. I did say that anyone in the English-speaking channels, they can just stay here.
I'm glad I'm here
Okay,
now.
so we're going to start now. If you're here now, we're going to start now. This is a recording. Okay, perfect. So 1, 2, 3, and perfect. Okay then. So so this is sorted. Nikos is just said this is streaming. Everything's fine. Okay, I'll just put this again just in case. So I repeat. If there's anyone here that wants to go and join the Portuguese, Greek, Italian, or Spanish channels, I know that they're live now. There are many people in them. So please just follow the links that I just published in the chat. And then if you are watching this using the YouTube channel, same thing, you have in the chat, you have 4 links to the Portuguese, Greek, Italian, and Spanish channels. Many apologies that this was not sent to you automatically. It looked like there was a problem with the system. Obviously, I had the messages, and some of this did, I know, because they managed to connect. But it looks like many people didn't manage to connect directly because they didn't have links, and there was nothing we could do. It just didn't work, and we didn't know. So now we are going to be starting the second roundtable. We have here Maria, Paula, and Harry, and we're going to have them present a different resource, and we're going to be asking them questions. So this roundtable is going to work in exactly the same one as the previous. So I don't need to introduce anything else. So let's start, if you don't mind, with Maria. Maria, from now onwards, you can share your screen, okay? And
All
you
right.
can obviously get the
Perfect.
microphone. Paula and Harry, you can just stay with your cameras on, but microphones off as you're doing. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really enjoy making resources. It's one of my favorite things in the world. Teaching is lovely, and I've been teaching for 20 years now, 20 of them in England, and now I'm in Germany as well. So most of my resources that I create are part of my channel. I have a channel in YouTube called Bilingual Cerebros, like you see in the logo here. There's about 230 resources more or less there, and I keep uploading every week anything new that I do with my students, because it's a way for them to review what we do in lessons. And at the same time, there are many other students all over the world that enjoy as well. If they don't have the money to pay for lessons, so they can learn independently. And many also colleagues, many teachers use the resources and lessons as well. So this in particular is a resource inspired by the World Cup, and it's a bilingual resource. It's called Bilingual Quiz about the World Cup. And you got 20 questions, and these 20 questions, they are in Spanish and in English. So you might think like, okay, so what's the purpose on this? If you got Spanish and English, they see straight away the translation. Well, it's not about the translation. It's about reinforcing the vocabulary, especially numbers, low numbers or numbers up to 100. And names of countries. The pronunciation is, of course, in Spanish and in English. So there are 3 seconds, as you can see on the screen as it's rolling. And that wouldn't maybe be enough. So you can always pause it before the answer comes, ask independent students. That's, for example, how I used it in my class. And they really loved it. They were really motivated because sometimes you need to do extra resources, topics that football, for example, is one of the favorite topics for many students, and they really were engaged with this. So for example, countries you posted, the students can read it. It is for English speakers learning Spanish and for Spanish speakers learning English. They can compare the patterns. When it comes to numbers, they can pronounce it in Spanish, they can pronounce it in English, depending on the, and for example, like in this one, let's take, for example, this one you can compare, some of them have many similarities, Brazil and Brazil, so what's the difference? Or look how different Germany to Alemania is, and so on, many different things like that. So it's obviously targeted for A1, A2 learners, but of course, if you want to target it for higher speakers, for B1, you can pay attention to the questions. Many of them are in presente pretérito perfecto or present perfect. There's some questions as well in pretérito indefinido. So you could do it like that. And many of these presentations, I have many quizzes in my channel. Many are bilingual, many are only in Spanish, many are only in English. So you got the variety there. But the aim is for them to enjoy and to participate and to pronounce and to be engaged. Yeah, that's basically it. Thank you. If you got any questions, I guess you will let me know at the end. And yeah, I think I said there were 20 questions.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Muchas
you.
gracias. Bilingual communication. So yes, as the other roundtable, what we're going to do is we're going to have each presentation, and then eventually we will be asking questions. And you can ask these questions to each other. Obviously, now we are in a rather small group, because here is only people that chose English as a language to communicate. Okay, then obviously we are in a more close environment. So if you don't mind, Harry, we're going to pass on to Paula. Ladies first. So Paula, you may start now with your presentation. Same thing again. You just talk about what your resources, and then at the end we will ask questions. Thank you, Paula.
I'm going to try to share my screen.
Okay.
Check me that I am sharing my screen.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. So I prepared this presentation for today. So we're going to start. I'm going to introduce you my manipulative book, which is material to help children to learn different grammar tenses in English. So how I said, this is a manipulative book. They are going to play to be a chef kitchen helper while they are learning, and that's fantastic for the motivation. You have got 5 different levels for different ages, and it has more than 50 ingredients. The ingredients are required to create the different English tenses structures. So 50 ingredients means a lot of different possibilities for creating sentences. I put a video of a girl playing with this material. Have you seen the girl is playing with different verbs, subjects, substantives, and that's fine for learning. I put here different benefits of playing, learning through the game. For me, it's one of the best methodology that exists in the world, because children don't only play, they are learning, they are creating different things, they are developing skills, they are improving their vocabulary and a lot of things. And for me, it's one of the best methodology that exists, and it has been a lot of results for me and for my children, of course. This manipulative books starts with an introduction. It starts telling the children that they are going to be a chef kitchen helper. It's a role-playing game, of course. And there are 5 different levels, what I said before. from the easiest to the most difficult level. For the first one, the first thing we have are the ingredients. They have to cut all the ingredients and paste on the pantry with Velcros to remove paste and other things. And we have the orders the customers ask for. You can make a booklet with a ring. I did that, and it's more useful to use to go and pass to other orders. And this is the first level. How I said, children have to create a menu. They have to go to pantry, take the ingredients that they need, looking the ingredients on the orders, taking from the pantry and putting it in the correct order. Later, they can create a menu's name. For example, crazy menu or lazy menu, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that they practice the order of the subject, the verb, the complement, the auxiliary verbs. The second order it's quite difficult than the first. They must remember the correct order before playing. In the other one, they could have the orders booklet and looking the structures with playing. Here not. They don't have the booklet. They have to keep in mind all the structures to play this. It's important to say that they don't have to know all the structures to pass the level 2. Could have a good proficiency on creating present perfect grammar structures and pass to second level only in this grammar tense. But for example, if he or she didn't practice anything with future perfect, they cannot pass to other levels. And this is the third level, it's the most creative level. They have to take one word from each plate, combine it, create a tense, and remember which is the structure of this tense and create a sentence. For example, past, simple, negative. So I have to remember which are the ingredients of past, simple, negative. I go to the pantry, I take the ingredients, I come back, and I put in the correct order. And later, how always, create a menu's name. This is optional, but that's fine to see the creativity that kids should have. This is the fourth order, quite difficult. Now it's time to create sentences by her own without using ingredients. I know that it's difficult and I don't recommend to pass to this level. Even the others are super practiced. So this is the fourth and the fifth level. Now it's time to write a complete receipt. Yes, it's the most difficult level. I always let them a dictionary or the translator because there are a lot of words that they don't know, but this is not a problem. We have to help them. We have a part that is a chef's tips. I know that some students didn't remember if which subject goes with is, which subject goes with are. Here is a tip. There are tips can help them to create the structures correctly. And the wait time, the most motivation part. Here, students earn their salary at the last of the workday, 1 bill for each complete activity. And if they finish the level, they can gain 2 bills. And I put all this material free on my Instagram profile for any teacher could apply on their classes. I would like to all children can learn while playing, because I can see that they are motivated and they are learning in a different way. They are not bored, and I would like that all children in the world could use this material, independing of their age, independing of their country and their level of English.
Thank you very much, Paula. Thank you. Okay, later you're gonna go more into deep, about your resources. Don't worry. That way we can keep it a little bit shorter in case there are many questions. I don't know if you have a last sentence to say. I give you 10 more seconds maximum.
I don't find the screen. Where are you?
Okay.
Wait a moment, please.
No problem. It's okay. So if that's okay, Paula, then if you can disconnect your presentation, that way Harvey can start connecting his, yeah, and then again. we're going to do very similar as for Maria and Paula. Harry, if you can just connect whatever you want to present. And then after your presentation, remember that we're going to go through all the questions, and we'll go like this until the end of the event. Yeah, until the end of this roundtable. Okay, so Paula is disconnected now. The screen is all yours, Harry.
Okay, so I'm gonna be quick because I already wasted much time. I'm Harry, I'm a language tutor, and I'm running teacherbingo.com. We do educational games. At the moment, just one. It's bingo. I think you all know it. Everybody uses it. So I'm gonna go right to the website to show you how it's done. Now, how can I share my screen? This is it. Can you give me a quick feedback? Can you see my screen now?
1 second. Yes, very good, very good.
Okay,
Perfect.
This is the website. It's nice and easy. It's a bingo game creator. So what you do, you click on create yours. Now it's Christmas time, so I'm gonna make a Christmas bingo game. You will design the card by yourself. I'm gonna choose a background, festivities, and Christmas. It's a bit slow, I apologize. My first Zoom meeting in forever. And I'm gonna choose a header, Christmas time. Yep. Usually this is much faster. Bear with me for a moment.
Don't worry, we know what having technical problems means.
So,
We have.
Here you go to the grid size. Just now, when Paula was talking, she's trying to adjust her games for younger kids or older kids, for lower level, for higher level. This is what you do here. You use a smaller grid for kindergarten, and you use a bigger grid for adults or university students. And the vocabulary, this is where this is the jewel of our website. This is where all the content is. Right now we have about 6,000 words with some mistakes. We are working on a very big update, which will be online in a couple of months. This is where you customize your game. You go on Christmas, and then you take your class book. you take your chapter, you take your units. You take the vocabulary you want to teach, no matter for kindergarten, for adults, and then you choose. This is how you tailor the game to whatever class or whatever level or whatever student you have. For convenience and knowing that I only have 3 minutes, I'm just going to select all for the moment. So we have a picture here on the left. There you can see what your bingo cards look like. You count the students of your class. Okay, I have 30, I'm in China. You choose your size. If you go kindergarten, you print A4. If you play with adults, you might even print 4 a page, or I like A5 in my classes. I have about 6 to 8 in my private classes. That's all. It usually just takes a few minutes. You press the download button, it's still free. We're in beta, so whatever bingo games you do right now, go ahead, it's all free. And it's going to take a little longer now to create the bingo cards because I selected all the vocabulary. That's about 180 words for Christmas. Usually this just takes a few seconds. And then you can download the bingo game. This computer, it doesn't show me a preview. Here it is. Okay, here's the preview. This is the PDF file of your bingo game, which you can download. Yeah, if it would load, it would be nicer. 3, 2, 1, there we go. As you know, each bingo card has to be different. That's what our creator does. Here you have 30 bingo cards, all different for your class, the way you designed it. At the very end, there's your vocabulary call sheet with the vocabulary you have chosen, which you need to play the game. So it doesn't load. Oh, here it is. Here's your vocabulary call sheet. It's a lot of words. All the words, whatever you want to do about Christmas is right here. So the whole point of teacherbingo.com is the customization. We've created lots of utility, but not everything can be used by everyone. That's why we make everything customizable, so every educator can choose what he needs and get what he wants. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harry. Thank you very much. Okay, so now we go again to the round of questions for everyone. We're going to start me asking you questions one by one, and then eventually you can ask questions to each other. You can we'll get some questions maybe from the public. Now, because obviously we're in this small group, the answers to your questions can be more developed than we had in the first meeting. Yeah. So this is a little bit different. We're more in a closer group. The advantage is that you can develop your questions a little bit further. If you go up to 10 minutes, and it's interesting, I'm not going to stop you. If I feel that your answers are just too developed and then people are losing interest, then yes, I will stop you. But remember that you're going to get more than one question, so don't worry too much. Yeah. So, okay, so question, we're going to start with Maria, same order. I really like the idea of using a bilingual resources, and it's obviously very convenient because in your case, for example, you're teaching Spanish to English speakers, you're teaching English to Spanish speakers, you might be also teaching English or Spanish to German speakers or to speakers of any other language, and that's in a way convenient. You can use the same resource for the two languages. Yeah. But I'm just concerned about whether these might be too easy for them to get the meaning. At the end of the day, like a Spanish child, gain some resource in both English and Spanish, his eyes are going to go directly to read Spanish, and it's very difficult to avoid that. So the first question is, have you thought about how to solve this issue about these activities that are in both languages being too easy? And then another thing that I'm going to ask you, but then again, you can answer any of the questions, is whether you've thought about doing this in teams or individually, whether you feel that using these resources as competitive has been better or worse than cooperative. Like, you know, them helping each other or them competing against each other. Okay, so these are the main two questions. You answer the way you prefer.
Very good questions, both. Yes, so yes, I get that a lot from other teachers. I have like 7 subscribers at the moment, and when I started the channel, it was mainly bilingual, and the channel is now developing to also having only in Spanish, only in English. But the bilingual resources are helpful because it's mainly for your very starters, your A1s and your A2s, who feel a bit very underconfident, and they feel like they do need to immediately check that, and then they can move on immediately to the without subtitles if it's in English or if it's in Spanish. Not all my resources have yet the only in Spanish or only in English version, but I'm working towards it. As I said, there are 230 I think a bit more now resources, but yeah, and it feels many of them have told me exactly the opposite feedback, that thank you so much for having the English there. It helps me if they're learning Spanish, because I want until I feel confident to have that as to follow off. Also, it helps comparing and for spelling, so they can compare patterns and the differences and the similarities. Sometimes you have the false friends that can mislead people, and they can see, oh, I thought that was that, but actually, look, it doesn't mean that. So I was totally wrong about it. And then as for the second question, very good question as well. I use them mainly in my lessons, my resources, with interactive whiteboards. And then, yes, we do as a whole class. Sometimes we divide and we do, depending on the number of, they like to do boys against girls. Although I have some groups that have more boys than girls, and that wouldn't work. So they divide themselves, they get into teams, and they like that competitiveness because it challenges them to, come on, we need to beat the other team to say the words. And sometimes it's nice to have a bit of competitiveness in languages like games. And you can also play it. That's another thing I did. I haven't done it now because I'm in secondary and my lessons are a bit sort of like shorter, but in primary schools, when I developed these resources, we would install, if there were PowerPoints, there are PowerPoints of all these resources, which I turn into videos in the channel, but I would install them in the main drive of the school, and the children would log in with laptops, so they could play independently or they could play with partners. And by having it in PowerPoint, there's shortcuts, there's hyperlinks, so they could link from one point to the other. Not in this particular resource that I show now, but in others that I have, they could skip and they could keep track. They could do a tally of if they're playing with a friend, or they can play at home if they're using the link on the channel. They can play along to reinforce the vocabulary. Bear in mind that I upload all of this mainly so that my students can double check at home, can sort of like repeat everything we have done and have a backup. This particular resource is without sound. In many of my other resources, I have the pronunciation in Spanish or in English or in both. So they can, if they want to use it to listen to the pronunciation again at home, they can do. But if they want to turn off the sound and they can do it on their own and pronounce on their own, they can do as well. The same goes for teachers using my resources. They don't want to hear my voice. They have guided reading and other things. They can turn off the audio and simply have it as an extra resource so they can pause it and they can use it as they wish. Really, it's a support. It's just a helping each other, helping students double check things, repeat things, and helping colleagues are doing resources similar. They don't need to spend time. It's there. It's all free. They can download it. They can ask me for the PowerPoint. I also send that totally free as well. I'm happy to share always. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria. Muchas gracias. Well, thank you for the presentation. And thank you, I mean, generally for sharing these resources and doing that even free. Very, very, very interesting. And I do agree with you that it's not just the level, it's the confidence. So for some students that are they blocked and they say, oh, it's just I don't understand anything. Having the easy access that sometimes we teachers can turn off is like, you know, a way for them to start doing something and hopefully getting a higher level. And I also agree with you that the false friends, there's nothing better than having the two words, you know, there to see that, you know, some words, they look similar. They might even have the same root from Latin, but the meaning is got two different paths, and at the end, we don't have the same. So again, thank you for that one. And then obviously we know that you are very, very active with the EduPlat and you're sharing your resources. For anyone listening, remember, follow our social media and eventually you can contact directly with Maria. She's quite active in Facebook, in Twitter. Well, she's active in all of the networks. Yeah. So that's very, very, very easy to access here. Well done. Okay, so now we're going to Paula. Paula presented us her board. For those of you who don't know on Spanish, La Pizarra de Paula is Paula's board, and it has beautiful presentations. We can tell that Paula puts a lot of effort in her design, and I guess you use Canva quite a lot and very efficiently, and many others. My questions, I mean, I also very much like, and I'm pretty sure that teachers are going to enjoy using your resources, the fact that the children can get to use their hands. So it's really manipulative resource that they can get hands on touching little things. Now, my question is, have you had any feedback about doing these with children, the little ones, putting the little things in their mouths, or rather older children that they misbehaving because they have little things, all these little things that they're manipulating, they get lost. How do teachers deal with that when using your resources? I might ask you questions later, but I think this is the main one. So I'll let you answer that one first.
Okay. At first, I thought that Velcro didn't was a great idea, but I didn't have another best idea to prepare the manipulative book. So I've seen a lot of manipulative books on Instagram, and At first, I seen that all the children that use this manipulative book were younger than my classroom students. So I thought, okay, it could be a great idea. So this is why I put a pantry, and on the pantry, the Velcros and the ingredients. Don't lose it, because I know that there are 50 ingredients, 50 possibilities to lose the ingredient. So yeah, it was a trouble, but for the moment, nobody lost any ingredient for the moment. And it's what you said, it's a motivating way to learn, because when they are manipulating, they are playing, they are super focused on what are they doing. It's not the same that copying a sentence. I have got a dog. It's not the same. It's more motivating. It's for the children is the best. And for the children that I've used this, I've seen a lot of feedback on them, because later when they are creating the sentences, they told me, I remember that present simple was as this way. Great, you remember the structure. I didn't have any feedback with teachers, because this material is new. I did it 2 weeks ago. And I would like to share with other teachers, and I really like to have a lot of comments of them tell me that this material helps them. I really like this. But for the moment, I don't have any feedback for teachers, but yes, from children, and it's for moment it goes well.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Paula. Thank you very much. I have a correction to make. You said that there are 50 possibilities of losing that. I would say that there are a lot more, because if you have 50 pieces and 20 students, 50 times 20 is 1,000 possibilities of getting one of these things lost. So it's a little bit more, but yes. And I totally agree with you that obviously if the resource is so new, I didn't know it was so new, it's difficult to get feedback. And then for everyone listening, this is also why we are here in EduPlant. We want to help teachers like Paula sharing resources, but also getting feedback. So please log in our channels and to connect with all the teachers that are sharing these wonderful resources, and do comment on them. Like, you know, give, as I said, ideally like positive reinforcement in public, and maybe private constructive criticism comments. And I'm sure that Paula will appreciate that and will reply, and so the others. So it's very good, because at the end of the day, Paula has so many students, but she doesn't get all the opinions. If all the teachers are using her resources and we give her feedback, she can improve and do a version 3.2 that is always better than the 3.1, just like they do in computers.
Sure.
Thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to have more questions, but then I will ask them in the rounds. So we go now to Harry and Teacher Bingo. Thank you very much for your presentation. And I really like the idea that teachers can access and do and create bingos using like different vocabulary so quickly. Now, 2 different ideas. Again, I think many teachers might be interested in how this works in the classroom, especially regarding classroom management, behavior problems, and students connecting with the fun, but not connecting so much with the learning. And if I'm asking you this because you might have had not just your own feedback, but also feedback from other teachers using these resources regarding classroom management. And also, how do you feel that teachers are coping with the, to be honest, I think it's very, very simple, very powerful, but yes, simple, your platform, that teachers can just do exactly as you've shown. But do you feel that there are many teachers that are not very good with computers and they find it difficult to get the printouts or to get, you know, the specific resources that they want to get? Yeah. Okay, so feedback from students, feedback from teachers regarding classroom management and the technology of getting the resources in the hands.
Okay, first question, how does it work in class and what is it good for? You can do two different things. Like I tried two different approaches. I take a bunch of flashcards and vocabulary into a kindergarten classroom as a tutor. I'm not a teacher. And I try to teach them vocabulary. You have to be a real big entertainer, half of a clown, and do a whole lot of things in those 30, 40 minutes you have to go motorcycle, motorcycle, motorcycle until they maybe remember the word. But once you take a game, as Alexandra already put it very well in the beginning, you take any game which you like, which the students are engaged in. They are engaged, they want to learn. You don't even have to be an entertainer to do it, which already half answers the second question. Just by the sheer fact that they are playing, and play is the language of the child from K to 12. They are engaged and they are much more likely to remember a word, especially for bingo. When you have the first word, let's say it's an apple, and then you look for banana as the second word, you will pass by the apple again. So while you're playing, you're already reviewing, you're already memorizing the words you had before. I'm not a university professor, so I can't tell you the brain science behind it, but I'm sure somebody can someday. I hope.
Okay, yeah. There is lots of research on that. I mean, I work like as a educational consultant at universities as well, and there are lots of research. Eventually, one day there might be research done specifically on teacher bingo. You know, not kidding. I mean, many schools of education. I mean, I work more with the University of Zaragoza in Spain, but in many of them, you have wannabe university professors that eventually if they want to get a PhD, they need to do some research. And there are many research students that they would love to do to get feed from data from activities like Teacher Bingo, and then study whether one thing is better than another. So again, EduPlat is a platform that can connect resource producers like yourself and anyone that is interested in doing research. Obviously, we have many resource producers, not as many researchers, but there are many. Many of them, they have their ideas of what they want to research on, but it's nevertheless interesting that they have access to that. Yeah. Watch out for connections, because you might have some, and then people eventually asking you, would you mind giving me some data on the results that you're getting, so I can do some research associated to that. And that's collaboration as well, and anything to do with educational resources is our main mission. We are going to be talking a little bit about how to use resources more efficiently, how to create templates more efficiently. So you're more than welcome to participate also. That will be done in the Congress in Italy and eventually in Spain. So again, you are all more than welcome. Okay, so we're going to move on to your questions. So first, we're going to have questions from the very small group of people. Anyone else that is connected to Zoom, please, anytime, get your cameras. I would like first, because, between the four of us who have been talking, so Maria, and Harry, and Paula, if you have any questions to ask each other, go ahead, and I would like you to go first. And then anyone from the Zoom link, and if you have questions, then go ahead and ask them. If not, if you manage to go into the YouTube channel and you see anyone that has asked the question, then let me know. Yeah, I might go back there myself, and I have a few more questions to ask you, and we have time. So let's see if you have questions for each other first. Maria, Paula, Harry, do you have any questions for one another?
I have one question.
Okay,
for Harry. Your bingo cards, are they only in English, or do you have other languages as well? Do you offer other languages?
Not yet. I'm terribly sorry. First of all, I want to tell you, I love the way you talk. I've lived in Spain for half a year of my life, and the way you speak in English is exactly, or maybe just half as fast as you probably speak in Spanish. I love it. Thinking about the vocabulary.
Sorry, you will be surprised when she leaves, Harry.
My German is worse.
Olvido mucho.
Sí.
So the problem is, there are two problems very quick. First of all, the teacher bingo you see on the website right now with one image and one word. Since almost a year, I'm already working on the update. I'm now having folders where pictures and texts are separated. That has one reason, because there are many mistakes on the website right now. For picture A, I had to choose, am I going to use American English or British English or slang or some Australian expression? Now, once the update is online, you have one picture with one suggested word of vocabulary. But for example, if you have a can, a Coca-Cola can, which is called a tin in England maybe, you can choose, you can select, am I going to use can or am I going to use tin? Is it British or American English? So lots of mistakes which are there now will be corrected. And while we are doing it this way, I now have the chance to just put other languages within those folders. Spanish, German, French, Italian. It's just too much work. In those 12 months, I'm working on the update of the gallery. I've done about 8,000 words of vocabulary. And I'm not even half through with what I wanted to accomplish for this year. So adding new languages in there is something I really want to do. But in order to do that, we have to become profitable first, because right now I'm doing this for free.
Okay, good. Lovely. Thank you.
I have one question for Maria.
Sí. Yes.
Go ahead, Paula.
How much time you spend editing, creating, posting videos on YouTube? Because I create my videos on TikTok and I spend a lot of time creating and trying to think what I can post later. So if you can answer to me.
Well, it really depends, because, for example, many of the ones I created during the pandemic because I was bored, and we were
yeah.
And some of them they're bilingual, and you can hear my daughter, for example, as well. She did the English with English accent, because obviously my English accent is not authentic, and she did the voice for many of the videos, that like the longer things, like guided reading or reading and comprehension. So in those days, having those as a base helped me, because I have more time. So I could spend basically maybe like I don't know, 3 hours to 4 hours in the whole week, with little time here, little time there if I was bored. And yeah, and I was getting slowly better at editing. Then many of the ones that I have that are bilingual now can be used and edited really quickly, chopping the Spanish or chopping the English, and they're already there. So the work is done. Transforming a PowerPoint into a video doesn't take longer than half an hour for me. And adding the voice, depending on his keywords or if it's longer text or vocabulary, depending on what it is. So it's a bit of a mixture. Sometimes one resource, if it's not too long, could take me an hour and a half if I have already materials for it. Short videos, I'm working on shorts now. They take me, because I have a template, they are 1 minute videos. They take me something like 45 minutes to create. But I'm quick because I have my templates and my shortcuts now to be more efficient with the time.
Fine.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both. More questions. I have a few, so if you don't go ahead, I'm going to ask you a few. Okay, so one question that it could be for any of you, probably mainly for Maria or Paula. Obviously, you're both producing resources in videos. Maria more in the YouTube channel, Paula more in her TikTok channel. And as you say, sometimes you start consuming. And especially when you have a periods like in the pandemic, like Maria was saying, it's great to be creative and not get bored and publish. EduPlat in a way was born twice. The second time we were born as a platform was during the pandemic, mainly because teachers like Maria had time and they wanted to contribute to the well-being of the society in a way, but also because there was more than a need. Now, obviously, there are other times in life that we don't have much time and we still need to edit the resources that we publish. I'm sure that if Paula, for example, is editing one of her campus presentations, it's relatively easy. You access the original file, you change one word where you might have made a mistake, or maybe that you want to get a version that is more difficult or for any other reason, or add vocabulary. That's relatively easy. But how do you do that the same in videos that are a resource that is not just difficult to make, but also very difficult to edit? How can you edit your videos in a way that doesn't take too much of your time?
Difficult question. Depends on the video. When I film myself and explain something as a way of learning better, I have to put my mobile phone here with my tripod. I start filming, and later I take my application CapCut. CapCut, do you know what is it? And I start dividing videos, removing the voice, putting another music thing, and I don't use any template. I only use all the video that I recorded and I started editing. In this case, other cases are videos related for manipulative materials, or for example, I don't know, showing my new book, showing my, I don't know. This is different because in these cases, I always use not a template, but I always use timing of videos. For example, at first I use a catchy phrase to catch my followers' attention. Later, I use a significant copy, a meaningful copy that gives you the idea what I am going to explain. And at last, I usually use follow me for more information, or follow me for more content. This is my creativity template, but I don't use any pre-record template as first a photo of this thing, later a recording of that thing. I don't use any template. It's only depend of the day. Today I want to film something showing my face. Today I don't want to show my face. I prefer to show my hands.
Sure, yeah, perfect, yeah. But in a way, at the end of the day, is even if you're not using a template, but the template is in your brain, it's a lot easier to repeat something that you have a structure for, and probably more effective, as you say. That at the beginning you want to catch people's attention, then you want to give them some depth into the content that you are advertising, and at the end you want to them to interact with you, following, gain the resource, etc. Yeah, this is important. And just a note for everyone, any of the teacher publishing resources, remember EduPlat, obviously we are going to help you whether your resources are free or they are paid for. Obviously EduPlat is an NGO, it's a non-profit organization. We cannot also afford to get losses, and any educational resource that we help advertise in a way, we want some sort of contribution. But there is no problem in advertising resources that are sold to other teachers with us, and this is something that is going to continue as well in the future when we advance more in the stages of the platform, especially when people can research. Obviously, one condition is going to be free, and as we all know, at the end of the day, the best way to get people connecting with your resources is to give them things that are free at the beginning, but also things that are premium, and then people can just choose, and that's also fine. It's in a way the same as with EduPlat. Even this Congress, we have the option of people to to join as a passive participant, just following us and using the YouTube channel. But we have also the possibility for speakers. We have the possibility for people that want to get more involved and use a premium option. Obviously, us beginning, this is the very first Congress. We don't have many premium users. I use this time to thank all the premium users, because with the contributions, we managed to go ahead and go further. And we are expecting in the near future to have certified certificates that are not just from us as an organization, but also from different national boards. For example, in Spain, you have different regions. So, very similar things happen in all the countries where teachers want to become, some teachers want to become civil servants, and that is going to be very, very soon a possibility where like teachers that want to become civil servants and they need points for their competitive exams, they can get help from us as well. At the moment, what we're doing is we're trying to get teachers' resources there. That's the main mission. We are trying to get feedback to the teachers that are publishing, but we also trying to get value with the prices, and also with the idea that, you know, a teacher that is publishing something is probably going to be a good teacher, and maybe private schools want to hire them. Sadly, in many countries, public schools, they cannot choose much who they hire, and they have to go through the pool of teachers that are either listed as supply teachers or as civil servants. And, you know, we're hoping that that is going to soon change. More questions from your side, guys. We have a few more minutes left. If you have any more questions? No? I had a few. I have one more for Paula. Okay, so while the students are following your manipulative activities, how do you suggest the teacher handles corrections? Because they might be moving a lot, they might be playing a lot, but how do they get whether the answer is correct or is wrong? I'm asking you mainly this question because it might be easier in the resources that Maria and Harry have presented to do that. I feel that in your resource, especially the one that you presented at the beginning, it might be more difficult for the teachers to see all of these little things moving around and say, hey, this is right or this is wrong. Any ideas?
Okay, it's quite difficult, but I recommend to use this, in this case, the manipulative book, in a specific time of the class. I know that it's important, a theoretical part of the class, explaining which are the, for example, present and past perfect tenses. But at last of the class, we can designate only 4 tables for children that sit down and start to play with the manipulative book. The rest of the class could be making some exercises, practicing with each other, but only the manipulative books in a specific area. And this way, the teacher can continues doing the class and going to this part of the class and checking that everything is all right. So I think that this option is better than all the class plays with the manipulative book, because it's a crazy thing to do us this way. I don't know.
I totally agree with you. Yeah, thank you. I totally agree with you. At the end of the day, it's like a little bit as Harry was saying earlier, students need repetition. Yeah. If they have repetition that is boring, they're not going to want to repeat much. But if they have already learned the structure and they need to repeat to get it really, really, having fun with the game is best. And by that time, maybe they might not need as much correction, and the teacher just needs to check that what they're doing repeatedly is okay. Well done.
And I would like to say too that the children in this area can help to each other. For example, I finish my sentence, I can go to my classmate's sentence and check if this is correct. It can be like a tutorial role-playing game too. There are a lot of different ways to apply this manipulative book on classes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. And we have time for one more question, otherwise we will conclude. Any other questions from anyone? I've been checking. There's no one in the public that wants to ask questions. So, okay. So with this, we finish the second roundtable. Thank you very much to Maria, Paula, and Harry for presenting your resources.
Thank you.
Remember, everyone, we're going to have a break here, and we're going to recontinue with another presentation in English, but for all the channels. So everyone together will come back at 3:30 GMT. So that's time in Portugal. And so we have quite a few speakers. And then at 5 p.m. Again Portuguese time, we're going to have again the channels being divided. Remember that the English channel at 5 p.m. will not be here in Zoom. I will repeat it just in case, but you have already at the top of the chat actually no, I didn't put the English channel. Well, I'll do it later. Yeah, I put the Portuguese, Greek, Italian, Spanish. I didn't put the English channel because I didn't want people to go away, because this was the English channel. But at 5 p.m. this will be the Spanish channel, and then English will have the Skype channel to interact.
Okay. Oh, I need to check that. I don't know if my Skype.
Yeah. I will publish it. Remember, anyone that doesn't know where to go, just go to the same place. Stay where you are. If you lost, don't move. Stay where you are, and then you will be given instructions. The very first thing we will do in this channel is to tell people again where to go. 1,000 apologies for those many who didn't manage to get it on time. Those who were patient enough, they stayed. And I know that many, eventually, they just have many other things to do. They will get access to this video because it's going to be in the YouTube channel. So there will be many people that will be watching this video afterwards. That's fine as well. In any case, at this time, in many countries, in Greece especially, and Spain, many people is their lunchtime. And for many countries in China or like Far East, many people are sleeping now, and they will probably get to watch this video tomorrow or whenever they wake up, and that's also fine. So again, thank you all, and I'll see you later in any of the other channels. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Bye-bye.